Hey everyone, welcome to part 13 of this trophy and achievement guide for Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. I've got a lot of great content in this one episode for you, so thanks for coming along on this journey with me, and a special thank you to all of the channel members who help to support the channel. I really appreciate it. And now without further ado, let's dive into it. The first thing that we want to do is return to the third floor of the Balamb garden so that we can pilot our now mobile garden around the world. I'm going to speed this part up just because it's running around the big circular hallway and then going up the elevator to the third floor bridge. Now let's go forward into the next room and then we'll use the elevator to go up into where the control room is. And now let's go talk to Nita, who's right in front of us. I had no idea Zhu was one of the 4 suits of CC. Nita, that's a secret. I already knew. And we'll talk to him again, and we'll say, yes, we are ready to go. Roger. One of the first things you want to do is to pull up the world map. There's a variety of ways to do that depending on which gaming platform you're on. That could be either the touchpad, the select button, the minus button, the J button, something like that. We'll be able to pull up the world map, and you can actually toggle through different versions of the world map by continuing to press that button. The game wants us to go to Balamb, but we're not going to go there. Instead, we're going to go further north up to Shumi village. Let's close the big world map, and I'll keep up a smaller version of it on the screen so that you can watch where we're going. We're going to turn and start heading over toward the northwest, and we're going to go around the island that Balamb is on, and once we get past the island, then we're going to turn and go more straight north until we can get way up toward the northern end of this continent. As we go north to Shumi village, I wanted to ask you guys a question. I said in the very beginning of part 1 of this guide that we wouldn't be doing many of the side quests, especially if they did not have a trophy related to them. However, if you guys want me to create an episode where it's going through some of the major side quests like the Chocobo side quest or the Shumi village side quest, let me know and I'd be happy to do that. I'm not going to waste your time if you're not interested in that, but if you do have a desire for that, then I would be happy to do that for you. When you get to the far north part of the map, right in the middle, then you can go ashore and then turn left, and Shumi village is just to the west. So let's go ahead and park the garden, and then we can run on inside. As we go forward, we're going to be able to go into this large dome structure. On the left side are 3 Shumi people. If we talk to the middle one, he's going to say that we can use the draw point behind him, but we have to spend 5,000 gil in order to do that. But this is going to be a draw point for the Ultima magic. So I would recommend that we spend 5,000 gil to draw some Ultima out of this one. And we can do this as many times as we want to, we just have to pay 5,000 gil each time. And then we're going to run inside the nearby structure. We can go forward and we can take a seat, and then we're going to ride this elevator down toward the bottom. Welcome to Shumi village. You have been specially permitted here. We hope you enjoy your stay. The elevator will reach the village entrance shortly. Please exit through the door. Let's go ahead and leave at the bottom left corner of the screen. Now we're going to proceed toward the left, and we're going to go a couple screens all the way toward the left. We'll keep going toward the left to go into a different area. And when you see this frog, then you want to go up and toward the right so that you can go inside this hut. On the bed over toward the right side is going to be the Maniacs magazine. Let's go ahead and read that. And now we're going to leave. And we can make our way back all the way toward the right side until we can get back into the elevator and take it back up to the top. As I was mentioning a moment ago, there is a side quest involving Shumi village. It's not difficult, it just takes some time to do it. The rewards aren't super great, so that's why we're not doing it, and it's not required for any trophies. But again, if you'd like to see me go through some of these major side quests, then let me know down in the comments, and I'll see if I can create a good guide for the side content. And once we get up to the top of the elevator, that's when we're going to be able to leave out the bottom left corner of the screen once again. Let's keep going down through a few different screens until we can exit out onto the world map. Now, if we turn our camera over toward the southwest, there's going to be a dome-shaped forest over here. This is actually a chocobo forest. Let's run inside of it. There's kind of a lengthy cutscene here as Chocoboy will explain to us how we can go about catching our very own chocobo, and there is going to be a trophy related to the first time that we catch a chocobo. So let's go over and talk to him. I'm going to go through most of the content very quickly, and I'll just explain to you exactly how you can catch a chocobo the hard way and the easy way. First, tell him that you want to catch a chocobo. When he tells you about the choco whiz, say, "Are you going to charge me?" He doesn't charge us for the whistle, but we do have to agree to pay him 1,000 gil to get his lecture where he explains the 2 items that we need in order to catch a chocobo. There's something called the choco sonar and the choco ziner. These 2 items will allow you to find and call down chocobos or small chocobos. First, you press the square button to select the sonar, and you hold down circle in order to find out where those chocobos are. Then when you know where one is, you press the square button to select the ziner and press circle to call it down. When you've successfully found all of the chocobos, then you can get the large chocobo mother to show up. And once the large chocobo mother has arrived, then you can get her to find a hidden item in the area. You can also choose to ride the mother chocobo out into the greater world map, and that way you can get to some locations that aren't accessible by our very large mobile Balamb garden. So now let's put that into practice so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Starting off, what you want to do is to press the square button and then say to detect choco sonar. Hold down the circle button and you'll see a little chart in the bottom corner. As you move around holding down circle, the bar will change. When the bar gets pretty full and you can hear that the sound is different, that's when you know that you're by a chocobo. So then you can press square, say to catch choco ziner, hit circle, and call down the chocobo. But the much easier way to catch the chocobo is just to hit square and then say help me. And for the low cost of only 1,200 gil, he can actually call the chocobo mother for us and we can get it. Now there's a big pro and con to doing it this way. The big pro is that it's a whole lot faster and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money for him just to bring in the chocobo. You still get the same reward of getting the Chocobo Trophy or achievement, but the big con is that if you're doing the Chocobo Sanctuary side quest, you do not get credit for doing it this way. You have to do it manually by calling down the chocobos and solving the puzzle the correct way. So if you're going for the side quest, then you'll have to make sure that you do it the harder way. Again, I'm not going to show you how to go through all of these unless you want me to, and I can create that in a separate side quest video, so let me know down in the comments. But for right now, we're going to do it the quick and easy way. We're just going to buy our chocobo, and at that time, then he's going to give us our own baby chocobo, and we get to name him whatever we want to. And this is when we also get the Chocobo Trophy or achievement. So whether you catch him the hard way or the easy way, it doesn't matter, we still are going to get that same Chocobo Trophy or achievement. As you ride the chocobo around the world, you press X to get off it, at which point it will run away. You can also turn the camera and then hit R2 in order to change the perspective. We don't need the chocobo for anything right now, so we can just run over toward our mobile Balamb garden and then press X to get off, and now we can jump back into the garden. Let's turn our garden until we're facing straight north, and then we're going to proceed forward. We're going to basically loop our way all the way around the world. We're going to go all the way north, and then we're going to pop out on the southern end of the map. At that point, we're going to turn left to start heading toward the west, and we're going to follow the shoreline as we proceed over to the far west side of this peninsula in the continent just to the north of us. If you hug the shoreline on your right side, there is a little bit of a gap here that we can go through. It's a bit of a shortcut, and after we go through here, there's going to be a lighthouse on the far west end of this continent. Keep that in mind because we're coming back here later on, but for now we're just going to circle around the lighthouse, and we're going to start now heading toward the east, and we're going to stay in the water as we proceed around the landmass. Again, just keep hugging the land over on your right hand side. You want to start heading over toward the southeast, and that way you're able to come down through here, and now you're going to go through this passageway turning toward the left, and you can hop up onto shore here. Let's take a more detailed look at the path. Starting at the bottom, we headed over toward the northwest, going through a small passageway. Then we looped around the far west end of this peninsula before heading back toward the east. And then we hopped up onto shore, and now we're facing our next destination. There's kind of this weird looking tower thing in the middle of this desert, so what we want to do is to run toward it, but we're not going to go in just yet. Let's set up our party before going into it. Starting off, we're going to go to Junction onto Zell. We'll choose Ability, and we want to take off Encounter None, and we can put on Magic 40% in its place. Then we're going to go down to the Switch command, but we're not going to change our party members. Instead, we're going to go to Junction Exchange and swap Squall for Irvine. That's going to lower Squall's health, and now we can Junction Irvine back onto Squall. That's going to put him into critical health. And we'll do the same thing with Quistis so that she is also in critical health. And now we can set up our Guardian Forces by going to GF. Quetzalcoatl is going to be learning Elemental Defense Junction, Shiva is learning Vitality plus 40%, Ifrit is learning Elemental Defense times 2, Siren is learning Status Defense Junction times 2, Brothers is learning Elemental Attack Junction, Diablos is learning Time Magic Refine, Carbuncle is learning HP plus 20%, and Leviathan is learning Support Magic Refine. We need at least one Guardian Force who is learning an ability who currently has 0 AP toward it. So in this case, Diablos, Carbuncle, and Ifrit are all learning brand new things and have 0 AP, and we're going to use that to keep track of how many battles we've completed in this area. Let's save the game and then head on inside the tower. There's a 20-minute timer in the upper left-hand corner, and that's related to the side quest in order to get a new Guardian Force, Odin. Odin's a pretty unique Guardian Force because you cannot junction him onto your characters to make yourself stronger or to gain new abilities. Instead, he just shows up randomly at the beginning of combat and kills all the enemies. That actually works against our current strategy of keeping our levels low, and there's no trophy or achievement to getting Odin, and for that reason, I'm not going to be getting him in this playthrough. However, if you do want me to show you how to get Odin, then I'd be happy to do that. Let me know down in the comments, and we're going to get him later on in the game after we've done some other strategic things, and then we'll get him before the point of no return. Even though we're not getting Odin right now, we are going to get a different Guardian Force. All we have to do is head upstairs until we get to this floor with the statue on it. Over on the right hand side is going to be a draw point for the drain magic, so we can draw that with one of our characters. And now we're going to run around this area. Only one type of monster spawns here, and that's going to be the Tonberry. If you've played other Final Fantasy games before, you know that the Tonberry is not a monster you want to mess around with. He seems pretty meek and mild, but he can kill you very easily with a move called Everyone's Grudge, which does damage based on the number of enemies that character has killed. But I have a very safe way that you can kill these Tonberries without ever running the risk of getting injured by them. Starting off, you have to have Quistis use her Micro Missiles Limit Break twice. That's going to take away about half of the Tonberry's health during the first attack, and the second time will bring it down to about a quarter of its maximum health. At that point, you want Squall to use his Limit Break, Renzoku-kin, in order to finish off the enemies. If you attack and kill the Tonberries using this method of 2 Micro Missiles and 1 Renzoku-kin, you should be able to defeat them without it ever attacking you. It'll slowly march forward, but because you've got 2 characters in critical health, you should be able to have your crisis level up enough where you get those limit breaks popping up pretty quickly, and you'll be able to defeat them without taking any damage at all. The good news is that defeating a Tonberry will give you no experience at all, which is perfect for keeping our level low, and you'll get 1 AP. We can use that AP in order to keep track of how many Tonberries that we've killed, because we want to get to a certain number. So I'm just going to keep running around this area, killing Tonberries, and keeping an eye on the timer in the upper left-hand corner. Now that we've killed off a lot of Tonberries using the Micro Missiles Renzoku-kin combo, and we're down to about 3 minutes left, we can go into the GF menu and we can select one of the Guardian Forces who had 0 AP when we started, and we'll see that we now have 11 AP on them, which means that we've killed 11 enemies. Now we're going to head out of the tower all the way back down to the bottom and exit out onto the world map. We're then going to go straight back in, and we're going to run back up to the floor with the statue on it. Let's keep running around this floor, getting into fights with more Tonberries, and we're going to defeat them the same way. 2 Micro Missiles and a Renzoku-kin. We're going to keep doing that up until the point where we get to 19 Tonberries defeated. So let's go ahead and look at the GF menu, and we'll see that we've now got 19 AP on Ifrit. That means that we've defeated 19 Tonberries. At that point, regardless of how much time you have left, I would recommend that you head on outside, and we're going to then save the game when we get out onto the world map. What happens is that as soon as you defeat the 20th Tonberry in this area, then a new enemy is going to show up, the Tonberry King. There's no break in between the 20th Tonberry you defeat and the Tonberry King showing up, so you have to be ready for it and make sure that you have enough time to defeat him, which is why we stop after 19 and then head back in with a brand new 20 minutes on the clock. We have more than enough time to defeat the last Tonberry and the Tonberry King. I should note that it's not guaranteed that you're going to get the Tonberry King to spawn after the 20th kill. It can go all the way up to 50, but for the most part, it's going to be right around 20 kills. And I do mean kills because carding Tonberries does not count. You have to actually kill them. Tonberries are also immune to the effects of instant death, like the death spell or junctioning death as a status attack, and you can't use Quistis's Degenerator limit break either. And now that the Tonberry is dead, he's automatically replaced with the Tonberry King. Unfortunately, we can't defeat the Tonberry King using the same strategy because he's immune to Micro Missiles. The Tonberry King is also immune to the Degenerator limit break, so we can't use that on him, and although he does have the death magic that we can draw out of him, he's immune to instant death as well. So instead, we're going to switch it up and have Quistis use Laser Eye. It's probably the most damaging attack we can do with her. We're still going to have Squall use his Renzoku-kin limit break, and that's going to do the most damage to him out of all of our options. Zell is going to act as our support character. If one of our characters ends up dying, we can draw the third magic option out of him, and that's going to be the life spell, and we can instantly cast that onto one of our party members and resurrect them in case they get killed by the Tonberry King. By using limit breaks to defeat him, we're going to bypass one of his mechanics where he counter-attacks. Normally every 5 times that we attack him, he counterattacks, but this does not trigger when we use limit breaks, which is why we're only using limit breaks to attack him. He can still do other attacks like It's Sharp to do some damage based on how many kills we've gotten with that character, but because we haven't killed many enemies, that damage isn't going to be too high, and we can just draw the cure spell out of him in order to keep our health topped up. There's really nothing more to say about this fight, so I'm just going to let it play out. The fight will end right around the 20-minute and 30-second mark of this video, so feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to watch the full fight. And now we come to the end of the fight where one more Renzokuken is all that we need to finish him off. As soon as he's defeated, we then get the Tonberry Trophy or achievement, and the Tonberry King falls down, loses his crown, and gets micro-sized. He apologizes, and then he wants to join our party. Like all of the Tonberry fights, we get no experience, but we do get a new item, the Royal Crown, which can teach a Guardian Force the magic plus 60% ability. We also get 21 AP, and that's enough for Diablos and Leviathan to learn new refine abilities. We then get to name our Tonberry whatever we want to. I'm just going to keep it as Tonberry. All in all, that process took about 40 minutes. Let's go into the menu and then choose the GF option so that we can teach Tonberry a new ability. We want to hit learn, and then we want to go down to familiar, and we're going to teach him this ability first. Eventually, Tonberry will allow us to have infinite gil, which is very nice, but we have to begin by learning familiar first. Leviathan also learned an ability, so let's teach him a new one. We're going to go with Magic Junction. Diablos also learned an ability at the end of that last fight, so let's go over to him. We've got a couple options here. We could either teach him Hit Junction or HP Junction. It doesn't really matter what you choose. I'm just going to go with HP Junction for right now. We're going to set up our characters in Junction Tonberry in just a few moments, so don't worry about that yet. All we've got to do right now is just to leave this tower, and we're going to head back out to the main world map. Now let's open up the menu, and we're going to go to Junction. We're going to choose Zell, and then Ability, and we're going to replace Magic plus 40% with Encounter None. That way we don't get into any fights as we move around the world. And now we're going to head back to the mobile Balamb Garden. We have kind of a long trip to go to get to our next destination. We'll start by heading into the nearby water, and then we'll turn toward the right so that we can start heading over toward the west. We're going to go kind of around the continent again. If you want to save a little bit of time, you can hop up onto shore here, and then you can go through this forest. We're going to go past the lighthouse and continue heading down toward the south. We're then going to loop all the way around the world by heading all the way toward the south, and then we're going to pop up on the far north end of the map. And once we find ourselves on the far north end of the map, we want to turn left and start heading toward the east. Now let's take a detailed look at where we're going. We want to make our way over toward the east until we get to this landmass that kind of looks like a chocobo. We want to make our way around its head and then hug the shoreline on our right side as we head south. On the eastern side of that chocobo landmass is a long peninsula sticking out into the water, and that's our destination. Now let's start heading toward the east. We're going to basically hug the shoreline on our right hand side, and that will take us right to the chocobo's head. When you get to the edge of the chocobo's head, then turn toward the right and start heading south. You want to stick on the eastern side of that peninsula that's sticking out into the water, and there's going to be a shoreline that you can go up and go onto that peninsula. Then we're going to stop our mobile Balamb Garden right where the snow and the green grass meet. Now let's open up the menu, and we're going to change some things around. We'll go to Junction and then Zell. We'll choose Junction, GF, and we're going to remove Diablos from him. Let's back out of here and then go to Ability and make sure that Zell has the card ability equipped. Now we're going to go to Squall. We're going to hit Junction, Guardian Force, give him Diablos, as well as the new Tonberry Guardian Force that we just got. After that, we're going to back out and then choose Auto and Attack. As for his abilities, let's go down and we're going to give him the Mug ability. We're going to then replace Strength plus 20% with Evasion plus 30%, and we'll give him Luck 50% as well. Finally, we're going to go to Junction and then Magic, and we're going to remove the Tornado Magic from his Strength so that we have nothing Junction to Strength anymore. Now Squall will be able to mug enemies without doing enough damage to actually worry about killing them. We'll save the game, and then we want to start running around in this area. Let's begin with the snowy area. As we go through here, there's one enemy that we want to find. It's going to be the Gala enemy. It looks like kind of a big white stingray. Starting off the fight, we're going to have Squall try to use Mug in order to mug an item off of this enemy. And if we're lucky, we're going to get the mystery fluid item. We're then going to have Quistis use her micro missiles limit break to lower his health to about half, and then we're going to have Zell use the card ability to turn the Gala into a card. Remember, it's not guaranteed that it will work this way, but thanks to Squall's Mug as well as Quistis' micro missiles, he's now below half, and that gives us a pretty good chance of turning him into a card on the first try. Because we turned him into a card, we get no experience, but we do still get AP. It was enough for Quetzalcoatl to learn Elemental Defense Junction. So let's go into the menu, go down to GF, we'll choose Quetzalcoatl, and we're going to teach him a new ability. In this case, I'm going to give him Mid-Magic Refine, though you can use one of your Elemental Attack or Elemental Defense Junctions. Either one's fine. We're getting to the point where some abilities from Guardian Forces aren't that necessary, and the choice doesn't really matter. Okay, now I want to show you another enemy that we want to find kind of in the same area, but this one is found on the grassy area. And that's going to be the Mesmerize, which looks like a horse with a giant blade on the top of his head. We want to use the same strategy in this fight that we used against the Gala a moment ago. We're going to have Squall begin by trying to mug an item off of one of these enemies. And if we're lucky, we can get the Mesmerize blade. We're then going to have Quistis use micro missiles in order to do about half of his health and damage. And now we're going to have Zell use the card command to turn him into a card. And now we can repeat that for the other one. Now you can see that the enemy likes to use that blade on his head, but if we attack him, there's actually a chance that we can break it off of him, and then he can't use that attack anymore. He can just try to ram into us or kick us. So now that we've mugged another Mesmerized blade off of him, we're going to hit him with micro missiles as well as card him, and then we're going to be able to end the fight. And there you go, we got 2 Mesmerized blades as well as 2 Mesmerized cards out of that one fight. We want to continue fighting enemies around here, trying to mug them as well as card them until we get to a certain number of them. If we go into our menu and go to item, we want to find the item Mesmerized blade. I have 4 of them currently, and we also want to find the mystery fluid that we got out of the Gala, and in this case I have 5 of them. But we can also use the card mod ability in order to transform those Mesmerize into Mesmerized blades and the Galas into mystery fluids. And if we look, we can see that I have 25 Gala cards, and we also then have 14 Mesmerized blades. All in all, we need to get to the point where we have 30 mystery fluids and 15 Mesmerized blades. Because I have lots of those triple Triad cards, I can use the card mod ability to turn those 25 Galas into 25 mystery fluids for a total of 30 mystery fluids. That's the number we have to get to. And then the Mesmerize cards are going to turn into Mesmerized blades. We need at least 15 Mesmerized blades. All in all, it took about 30 minutes to get all of those materials. Now we're going to use the ability Life Magic Refine, and we're going to find those Mesmerized blades. We can turn 5 Mesmerized blades into 100 regens. We'll give 100 regens to Squall. We'll give 100 to Zell. And we'll give 100 to Quistis. Now let's go back out into the ability menu, and we're going to find Status Magic Refine. And then we're going to find those mystery fluids. One mystery fluid is going to give us 10 meltdowns, so if we use 10 mystery fluids, we get 100 meltdown magics. We'll give 100 meltdowns to Squall, 100 to Zell, and 100 to Quistis. Now let's junction those new magics onto our characters. We'll go to Junction and then choose Zell. We'll choose Auto and then Attack. Regen pairs very well with HP and Meltdown pairs very well with Vitality. And we should get a pretty significant stat boost after junctioning these new magics to those stats. Now let's go over to Squall and we're going to junction his magic as well. Again, go to Auto and then Attack. He gets a big boost to all of his stats as well. And then we're going to go over to Quistis and we're going to do the same thing with her. We'll hit Auto, Attack, and she gets a big boost. I don't have her junctioned with any Vitality yet. Don't worry, we're going to take care of that really soon. I also noticed that Squall was a little bit lacking with his Curaga numbers, so I'm going to go over to the Ability menu and I'm going to go down to Life Magic Refine. If we choose either a tent or a cottage or the Wizard Stone, we're able to convert those items into Curagas. So I'm going to choose the Wizard Stone and I'm going to make sure that Zell has 100 Curagas, just like Squall and Quistis do. And then we can back out of here. We're going to go to Junction, choose Zell, Auto, and then Attack. And now he's got the magic stat that I want him to have. Well, now let's continue on with the main storyline. All we've got to do is to save the game, and then we're going to hop aboard our mobile Balamb garden. We want to turn so that we're heading back toward the north, and we want to go back up past that Chocobo landmass's head. Once we get past the head, we're going to turn toward the left and start heading over toward the west. We can basically hug the left-hand shoreline as we go forward, and eventually we're going to find a sandy beach, and we want to head up that sandy beach and onto land. Here's the sandy beach coming into view. Let's turn left and go up onto the shore. We then have to make our way toward the south through the forests. As we continue heading south, we're going to then drop back down into the ocean, but this time we're on the southern end of that continent. And the landmass with Balamb on it is right ahead of us. We just have to work our way around the continent, so I'm going to head over toward the southwest and loop around this big island. And then we'll turn toward the left to start heading toward the east. As we travel forward, there's going to be some land that we can come up on. Straight ahead of us is going to be where Balamb Garden used to be and where the missiles put a big crater into the ground. And we're going to turn and we're going to stop just outside of Balamb. We can go ahead and get out of the garden and then run inside of the town of Balamb. Let's go forward for a scene. What's going on here? Now go over and talk to the guard. This town is under the control of Sorceress Adia. The town is off limits while we conduct our investigation. It will last for several days. Once we're through with our investigation here, you're next, so just stay out and stay put. Now let's talk to everyone. We were forced out of town a few days ago. Our daughter's still at home, but there's nothing we can do. With all these soldiers from Galbadia, you've got to stop and wonder whether Galbadia fell to the hands of the sorceress. And now we'll talk to the woman. I don't know what to do. What's happening to this town? When can we go in? If I knew this was going to happen, I would have brought my daughter with me. I hope she's all right. And now we'll talk to Zell. Yo, what's going on in there? You guys look suspicious. What are you doing here? What's Galbadia doing in a town like this? What do you want? Are you residents here? Yeah, that's right. At least residents should be allowed in. It's off limits. You cannot enter or leave. Do you understand? Ha! Who do you think you're talking to? What? What is it now? You said the town was off limits. Does that mean we can't deliver a message either? That's too bad. We have some info on Alone. What? Oh, wait a minute. Tell me everything you know about her. Do you actually know who she is? Kind of, but we need to get inside to confirm something. If you find out any information at all, go talk to the commander. She's staying at the hotel. You will be rewarded. Now we have to make a party that includes Zell and Squall. We might as well put Quistis in as well. And then we're going to head on into the town. The soldiers here like to block our path, so instead of going forward, we're going to start by going into Zell's house on the right. Ma, I'm home. Huh? Zell's mom isn't here, so let's go ahead and leave. Now we're going to go past the guards, and we're going to go over to the draw point here, where we can draw some basic thunder magic. We'll throw that onto Zell. And then we're going to go over toward the right side and down by where the hotel is. Let's talk to the guards. What do you want? If it's the commander you're looking for, I have strict orders not to let anyone through. What? Information about Alone? More rumors? You know that we'll get a salary cut if we let him through without confirmation. Yeah, I know. In this army, your salary gets cut based on just how the boss is feeling. I guess it goes with the territory when you can't choose your own boss. Yo, listen! We have top secret info. Bring the commander out here. These guys are kinda suspicious, huh? Yeah, totally. Have some respect for the captain. The captain is currently on patrol. Let's go over toward the right and then loop around the hotel. We'll proceed down the path and go past the guard and into the area where the docks are. Let's go forward, and on the left-hand side, if we go up this green ramp, we can grab some cure magic. We'll draw from there. And now we want to go and talk to the guard next to the dog. Oh, the captain? He was just here fishing. He caught a few and got really excited. He said he was gonna eat them right away. Let's leave this area and head back the way that we came. Let's keep heading forward into the hotel area, and then we're going to go around the hotel over toward the left side so that we can get back to Zell's house. Once we go in the house, we want to go over toward the right side to go into the room all the way on the right side. Ma, you're safe! Zell, how on earth did you get into town? It's all in the brains, Ma. We just said we had some info on Alone. Piece of cake. What a relief. I was worried you might have beaten up one of the guards. The soldiers have threatened that the sorceress will burn the town to the ground should there be any disturbance. Sorceress Adia? Is she here? I noticed a woman in the Galbadian army. Gray hair, patch over one eye. Must be Fujin, so they're here. Leave it to me. I'll get rid of those jokers. Could Seifer be here too? Let's head out toward the left side. If you want to, you can go upstairs and rest in the bed, but I wouldn't recommend it because we've got low health and that helps us for getting limit breaks. Let's go outside, and then we're going to make our way toward the left. We can stop by this draw point again to draw some more thunder magic. Again, we'll put that on Zell, and then we're going to head over toward the left to go into the train area. We'll run up the steps and into the station. Now let's talk to the guards and the station staff. Understood, sir. The food supply will be delivered to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. Better not try to cheat us now. Listen up. Sir! Sir! Be sure to keep your eyes open. Sir! Sir! And now we'll talk to the station staff. It's the army's food supply. They cut off the town's food supply, and still they make us deliver their food. I'm hungry too, you know, and I have to deliver food? What's up with that? And now we can talk to the nearby guards. A big one. There's gotta be a more efficient way to find this girl. Just gather everyone and tie him up, that's it. What, you got a problem with that? And now let's leave this room. Let's make our way back to Zell's house. And we'll talk to Zell's mom. Just now, a man came in and asked if you could use the kitchen. I think he cooked some fish. The whole room is filled with this strange odor. And now we can leave the house. Now let's go down by the hotel. We'll go past the hotel all the way around, and then we're going to go back down into the dock area. Once again, we're going to talk to the guard right next to the dog. I've been told to use this dog to find Alone. But without her scent to go by, what can we do? Now let's talk to the dog. Now let's follow the dog, and we're going to go back to the hotel area. We'll keep running past the hotel out into the main road. And then we'll head left and go into the train station area. It's Raijin. Come on! Before we go and chase Raijin down, we want to go into the menu and make sure that we're not too low on health. We still want to be in critical health, but we want to be on the upper end of that, so we can use some potions just to boost our health a little bit. That way we're not in danger of dying, but we can still get a lot of limit breaks to pop up. Let's go ahead and then leave the train station area, and we're going to make our way back down into the main road. And then we're going to go back to the bottom right corner to go into the hotel area. Hey, you, stand back. This could be dangerous. The commander's just about to... Yow! Ouch! Fujin, control your temper, you know? I was patrolling just like you told me. I even woke up that search dog sleeping on the job, you know? You guys help me out here. We gotta calm Fujin down, you know? Raijin! Wow, what are you guys doing here? We're here to liberate Balamb, you know? We're here to liberate Balamb. Seifer told us to give you a whooping if we saw you, you know? You soldiers, help me out too. Now we get into a fight against Raijin and two normal soldiers. You'll pay for this, Raijin! We'll start by having Zell take out the normal soldiers with his attacks. One attack should do. If you have a character who has sleep junction onto status attack, there is a chance that you can put Raijin to sleep. You also have the chance to mug an item called Strength Up from him. That's just an item that you can use on a character to permanently increase their strength by a little bit. It's not super important, it's nice if you can get it, but don't worry if you don't get that mug to happen. And then we're just going to finish him off with a Renzoku-kin, and that will be the end of the fight. Oh, you got me, you know? That was a quick and easy fight, and then after a short scene, we're going to be put into another battle. Like all boss fights, we get no experience, but this time we did get 12 AP, and that was enough for my Guardian Forces to learn some abilities. Shiva learns Vitality plus 40%, Diablos HP Junction, and Leviathan Magic Junction. Oh yeah! The commander's gonna get a whooping too! So, I guess you're the commander. Pack your bags and get out of Balamb. Raijin? Defeated? That's right, baby. Now where's Seifer and the Sorceress? You're all going down. Zell, calm down. Fujin, looks like you're on your own. Are you still willing to fight? Rage! Wahahaha! She's not alone. Who's there? Major comeback, you know. Actually, I feel a lot better, you know. I feel invincible, you know. How the? I thought we defeated you. And now we have a fight against both Raijin and Fujin together. Time to get serious, you know? The big threat in this fight is Fujin, who can use some pretty powerful wind magic against us, such as Tornado, which hits everyone, but we can draw the Pandemona Guardian Force out of her. Not only will that stop her from using wind magic, but we also get the Pandemona Trophy or achievement. We can then start attacking Raijin directly, and Squall's going to use a Renzoku-kin on Fujin. That should be enough to finish her off. I withdraw. Raijin, go! Even though we mugged the strength ups from Raijin in the previous fight, we can steal 2 more strength ups from him by using Mug on him. So let's go ahead and try to do that. If we get it, great. If we don't worry about it. Alright, I got lucky and actually got that mug to work. Now I can use Zell's Limit Break Duel to finish him off. Thanks to reading the Combat King magazine, we now have the ability to use Dolphin Blow by hitting L1, R1, L1, R1 when it pops up. If you don't enjoy inputting these commands yourself, you can go into Zell's Limit Break settings and set it to auto. That way he will just do these attacks by himself. We don't get to choose which attacks we do, which means that there's a potential drop in the amount of damage we do, but that's the price that you have to pay for simplicity. Fujin, I lost 2, you know. And there you go, another easy boss fight down. Because this was a boss fight, we get no experience. Fujin always drops a Mega Elixir, and Raijin always drops Combat King number 2. We also get 20 AP, meaning our Guardian Forces are pretty likely to learn some abilities, and then we also get to name Pandemona, our new Guardian Force. Are the 2 of you taking orders from the Sorceress? Negative. The Sorceress has nothing to do with us, you know? We're acting on our own. Own plan? We're on Seifer's side, you know? That's up to you, but enough is enough. This isn't an internal Guardian conflict. We can't back out, you know. Negative. Seifer has a lot of followers, but we're his only friends. We're a posse, you know? The Galbadian soldiers are only listening to Seifer because they fear the Sorceress. Without us, Seifer wouldn't have a posse, you know? If you guys stand behind him that much, tell frickin' Seifer to stop this nonsense. Affirmative. We ain't no sellouts. We're behind Seifer all the way, you know? Okay, understood. So, you want nothing to do with Garden now? From now on, we're not gonna hold back. I guess that's how it goes. That's what comrades are all about. Wait a minute. Don't wanna talk anymore, you know? Kinda painful, you know? Wimp! Run! It's too bad. Friend or foe, it all comes down to circumstance. That's how we were raised. It's nothing special. Nothing special. Is that true? Then what is this I'm feeling? Let's go. Where are we going next? Hello, excuse me. What is it? Have you decided on a destination? Still thinking. Can we maybe go to Trabia Garden? It's like in the mountains, so maybe the sorceress will leave it alone. But maybe, you know. But I thought it was destroyed by missiles. Oh, I see. That's why. Of course she'd want to go. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. Let's go ahead and we'll talk to Nita again and we'll say that we're ready to get going. We'll make a party of 3. Let's take Zell and Quistis again. Now immediately we can just hop out of the Balamb Garden, and I would recommend saving the game before you head back inside of Balamb. We're going to get another rare triple Triad card. Let's head on into town, and then we're going to go past Zell's house over toward the right so that we can get down by the hotel. We want to go talk to the man here. He's the hotel owner, and we can challenge him to a match. After you win, you can get the Pandemona card, which can be card modded into windmills, and windmills can be turned into tornado magic with Thunder Magic Refine. I already did that before the Tomb of the Unknown King, so I don't need to do that now, but if you weren't able to do it back then, now's a good time to get some powerful tornado magic. And then we can go ahead and leave Balamb. And this is where we're going to end part 13. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to go down into the comments and let me know if you want to have a special part be created to go through some of the optional side quests. I'd be happy to do that if there's the demand for it. If you're enjoying this video series, be sure to hit that like button and also consider subscribing to join our amazing community. I'll see you soon in part 14. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.